what happened the past couple of games in the MLB playoffs. Obviously the Dodgers eliminating the Philadelphia Phillies in 5 games. Jordan, I'll go to you first. I know you're very excited because you hate the Phillies. Obviously being a Braves fan, you were pretty excited when the Mets didn't make the playoffs. Jordan, what are your thoughts on the series and how did the Dodgers play?
Okay, so back when we did the MLB predictions and all that and who we had in the World Series, I was talking about how the Phillies core was in their 30s, like all those free agents they've had this year. And, I I laid out the situations the past 4 years the Phillies have been in the postseason, and I said it's time to put up or shut up. Well, I guess they decided to maybe shut up. So that's like the best thing for me. Um, but yes, Jake mentioned that I absolutely hate the Phillies. I was so happy when the Mets missed the playoffs as well. Um, so yeah,
Hey, obviously being a Marlins fan, I'm excited to see the Phillies go down as well. I'm two times as excited as the Mets, obviously not making the playoffs. Evan, I know you have some things to say on this, so you go ahead, man. What do you think? What do you
Yeah,
think
as a
on this
Marlins
series?
and Braves fan, it's probably been a nice last 2 weeks for you guys. I mean, not for your own teams, but for the watching the other guys. I mean, this has got to be that's glorious. I mean, yeah, with the Dodgers and Phillies, I did have the Phillies winning the World Series as my prediction. Oops, that will happen sometimes. I did
and I
concede
had
though,
the and I had the Phillies winning the National League and making the World Series. So I
right.
guess that's on me too. But
I did acknowledge in that video though that Jordan was right. They have a tendency of choking. I was thinking because Kyle Schwarber had an amazing year this year. They really were putting it together pitching wise. I thought, okay, this has to be the year they'll finally put it over. And as Jordan said, they decided to shut up. So, and they definitely did. So the what I'm sorry, what is do you guys know the reliever for the Phillies, 24-year-old who threw it over his head? And escaping my mind right
First
to
now.
name's
end
Jared. I'm not
to
sure
end
how to
game
pronounce
four
the second
to,
name.
Starts
to
with an
end game
O.
four to end
All right,
game
well,
four.
yes, yes.
Kekering. I don't remember his first name.
Okay, so Jake remembered the first name and Jordan
Orion
remembered.
Kekering or something like that.
Orion, that sounds right. It's her. Oh, anything. Maybe we won't be hearing his name much longer. Actually, I think he had like a two something year in the regular season. So of course he'll be back. We're just joking around.
Yeah.
The word choke, I think gets thrown a lot around in sports. Like, anytime a team loses in the playoffs, oh, they choked or they choked. I feel bad for the kid, 24-year-old kid, had a great time. This is an actual choke. So they have, just to set the scene, it's the bottom of the 11th. The Dodgers start getting some stuff going on the previous reliever. They get two hits. They're at first and third. Um, Only two outs to get. So they bring in this kid, right, to shut it down. And they put all the pressure on him. He walks a guy, and then I guess it's just a little dribbler, coming up. He hit a little dribbler right to the pitcher. He muffs it around, and I don't know, like
And
I
JT
and I just want to,
Romuto
yeah,
and
go ahead,
JT
Jordan.
Romuto's pointing to throw to first.
Right.
I guess in that situation, I mean, I wouldn't really, blame him for it. In that situation, I would have thrown home too, because that's not, going through your head. I saw this on a post earlier or some kind of like meme, something like that, and it said, what would you do if you're in that situation? The crowd's like as loud as it can be. I don't remember what else was set on it, but
But that's why I think it's an actual choke because I do think your instinct would be to throw to first. Yes, I know I understand you bobble it, but the guy was already racing home. There was no play at home. That's why he overthrew him because he already saw that he had it beat. He for some reason he thought he had no play at first base. When yes, I get it, you bobble it, you got to panic, but that was his only play, and that's why I think it's an actual choke. But also, I just wanted to say credit to the Dodgers. I thought the Dodgers, they won under 90 games, I believe, this year. They only won 88 or
I
89,
think they
something
won
like that.
exactly 90.
Okay, they won exactly 90. Not the strongest regular season. They turned it on a little bit at the end. I thought they were going to have some problems this year, mainly because as I talked about in prior videos and stuff like that, the back half of their lineup was not hitting. But I guess turns out you don't need hitting if you can just dominate the Phillies pitching wise, which is what the Dodgers definitely did. So huge props to the Dodgers. They look really good this series, but I feel bad for that kid.
Yeah, man, the series wasn't even close. The Dodgers dominated this whole series. I mean, Phillies only won one game, obviously, back in Philadelphia. Yoshinoma Yamamoto pitched this game. He pitched a very great game. He pitched this series. I think last now pitched game one.
Let's
Correct
now
me
pitch
if
game
I'm wrong.
four.
Pitched game four. He still threw a very great game. Obviously, just not enough. Just the Phillies took it, but the guys was big in game five. And Evan, that reliever, you know, playing baseball growing up, I was always taught, no matter what the situation on the base path is, 2 outs, your play's always at first base. And I get that, you bobble a ball, you want to go home, you stop panicking. Remember who's running the first. You know, you had, and I believe it was Max Muncy running to first.
You're talking about at the end of the game?
It was
Yeah,
Andy Pajes.
Yeah, that's what it
you
was.
have
Yeah.
Andy Pages running the first. And if you read the starting report on Andy Pages, he's not that fast. If you bobble the ball, you probably still could get him. JT Ramiro obviously thought that.
And what I
Um,
what I thought was funny at the end of the game, I don't mean to interrupt quick, but like they were interviewing Andy Pajes as it's like he just hit the walk off like double or something like that. I'm like, my man, you were not. I mean, I you got it, you hit it 60 feet, good job. But like,
I mean,
I don't think you're the one who, yeah,
hey, you
won
know
that.
what? They say put the ball in play, good things will happen.
They do say that. That is a
like my
baseball
man,
saying. That's true. I just thought the interview stuff
like
was funny, but yeah.
you are just lucky that the reliever did not throw to first base because you would not have beat that out. Like I don't know why they were treating him. Why I know why they're treating him like royalty. You obviously scored the game winning run, but it's also like you dang it, because it's like yeah, you hit a dribbler back to the mound, but if he figured that properly, he would have been out at first. And even if he threw to first, you would not have beat that out. So you're just lucky that he threw home and missed it totally.
Absolutely. Shout out JT Real. Me and JT Real Muto were little more alike than we thought because we were thinking the same exact thing during that mine. And I've got a lot of stuff wrong by me. Throw to first, but he did
Yeah,
not, and that's
Well,
how it
exactly.
goes.
Hey,
And wait,
well,
hey,
Jordan
Evan
had an
Jordan.
interesting. I was just gonna say Jordan had an interesting thing he shared with us earlier. Jordan, this is the first walk off on a what in history? Um,
I believe this was the first time ever that a team was eliminated on a walk-off error,
history in the making right there.
and
Yeah.
that will be
Wow,
history.
it's very interesting.
Can we just talk about the whole Phillies Dodgers series for a minute, like all four games? So you had, obviously the Phillies go off to a 3-0 lead in game one. I believe Christopher Sanchez started, looked really dominant, and then Teoscar Hernandez hits the go ahead homer on the seventh inning. Okay, you know what? That's Dodgers took game one on the road. That's fine. But if you're Philly, you didn't do anything until the eighth inning in game two, and that was really concerning to me. Like that was the moment that I was like, Philly's really about to choke again, aren't they? And then like obviously you have the two home run game for Kyle Schwarber in game three. They win that one, and then you have game four where Castellanos hit the go ahead double in the seventh inning. Um, you're thinking, okay, you know what, game five, and then Duran falls apart, gives up the game tying walk. Phillies offense can't do anything, and then we've been talking about, you had the blunder in the 11th inning that ultimately ended Philly's season.
No, yeah, game two especially was a very interesting ending. Jordan, I would agree with what you were saying. Like it was coming down, they weren't scoring any runs, and then the Phillies start going on this late stretch. Castellanos, he get the potential tying run, he gets in on second base late in that game, and they're like, oh, they're gonna do it, and then they try that. That was such a weird bunt.
Yeah, that was like Yeah, that wasn't a good bunt, and then you had Castellanos thrown out at third. I believe that was actually Bryson Stott that bunted that ball, if I remember correctly.
Right, a lot of weird manager calls on the Phillies, I thought this series too. A lot of weird like decisions, I think. And then also like, game two, and also I think he came in game four. Roki Sasaki. I don't know exactly how to say that
Sasaki,
game.
yeah.
He was really good out of the bullpen, and especially he had sort of a mixed September in the regular season, especially. Some people were like, how is he going to perform? I thought he did really good in the playoffs.
I thought so too, especially last night. He had, I believe, 9 up and 9 down. That's really good coming out of the bullpen. You rarely ever see relievers throw 3 innings these days, unless the game goes deep into extras. In that case, I guess really they're starting pitchers in that case.